All right, it's been 1 week since we left Connecticut to begin our road trip down to Miami. So far, we've pretty much been in the Blue Ridge Parkway, right? We went to Jersey and then we cut in, and then we've been going down the Appalachian Trail. So our first campground was along the Appalachian Trail, and that campground was called?
No idea, but it was in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
It was in the Michoud State Forest.
Yes.
And I think in any national forest and state forest, you can camp for free anywhere.
Yeah. So we've been using a site to find these free campgrounds, and the first one we went to was interesting. It had nothing. It didn't even have people. It was really just us, and it was a little scary. And the second one we went to had quite a few people, and it had a bathroom. And it had a river, like a really good river, right in the back of our tent. It was a little loud with the generators of the other campground.
The one generator.
It was, that one generator. That was a little rough.
And I think there was one here too.
Yeah. That second one was in the Blue Ridge Parkway near, what was the town? Buena Vista. Right, really close to Buena Vista, so it was like a 15-minute drive into town to get supplies we need. So now we're at campground number 3, still free. This one, though, has a bathroom, has running water-ish. It has a pump, a hand pump, which is
really nice. I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a workout. It's drinkable. It doesn't look perfectly clean.
It's super clear.
It's clear, but you get the little things that hang in the bottom. Just like little bits.
Yeah. And
it comes out very, very cold. And this one also has trash, which is really nice. And then the ranger comes and picks up the trash. And I would say it's got bug bites because I'm itching so much, but it really doesn't.
Spiders, lots of spiders. Every different type of spiders. All the spiders are here.
There's
not that many spiders, but like they're around.
They're around. Oh, also it has picnic tables. This has been a game changer for me because I like to sit and have coffee and write and things like that. And we haven't been able to do that so far. So this one has picnic tables and rings for your fire. So you can build a fire, which we did tonight.
A very successful fire.
Yeah.
I might add.
Yeah, so this is called Walnut Creek Flats Campground.
Walnut Flats?
Walnut Flats.
It's in White Gap, Virginia. We're in Virginia still.
We're in Virginia.
Virginia's been a long time. It's been a long time in Virginia.
It's crazy. I thought we'd be in North Carolina for like our entire drive. I don't know why, but North Carolina is the only thing I researched and planned for. But it turns out like we've been in Virginia almost this entire time. Like day one we were in Pennsylvania, and then we were in Virginia.
Yeah, we started the day 2 it was like leaving Pennsylvania, welcome to Maryland, welcome to West Virginia, and then Virginia.
All within within an hour.
Yeah, we drove down. We started at mile 1, mile 0, whatever you want to call it.
The north entrance of the Blue Ridge Parkway.
Yeah, in Waynesboro, and rode that. I think we did a little bit over 100 miles on the parkway, and then we got off to go through Roanoke, and now we're in.
Yeah, now
I don't know if this is the Blue Ridge anymore.
Yeah, we're still in the Blue Ridge.
I don't know. On the map, it looks weird.
Oh, so we're about an hour and a half outside of Roanoke, which we went into Roanoke thinking this will be cool. Either it's haunted or it'll be like super hip and trendy college town. We stayed for like 5 minutes, so we shouldn't really report on it. But we drove in and we drove immediately out. We didn't even stop. Parking was expensive, so it's just been easier for us to go to smaller grocery stores. We did get to go to a was that grocery store? Kroger. Something. Line. Yeah, Kroger though. The Kroger one, which I really liked, and we found a bulk section, so we were able to get quinoa and granola. Things that I think we kind of really needed. Like we've been eating fruits and vegetables for the most part. And even though we are driving and we're not particularly hungry, I'm not particularly hungry, like I do get tired, and I think some of that tiredness maybe is just not eating particularly frequently. We eat like this much for breakfast, and then we don't eat lunch, and we eat like this much for dinner. So I think I've maybe been feeling it a little bit, but
then we eat like this much peanut butter throughout the day.
Yeah, there's that. So we're trying to talk about spending money. We're going to talk about money. Okay, budgeting and money. A lot of people ask us like, how can you afford to be traveling all the time? Well, it's super cheap if you travel the way that we travel. Much cheaper than like living. So we keep track of our spending in a little notebook, but what it comes out to be is that we're putting gas in the car whenever we drive very far. We're in a Volkswagen Golf, so gas mileage has been good, better than usual.
On the first bit when it was just like highway driving, it was really good, and then it's a little bit on the decline. It's not on the decline, but it's at where it says it was supposed to be.
Yeah,
so it was like better than it should have been.
Gravel driving right now.
Yeah, we're climbing a lot.
On gravel. And then the only other purchase is grocery, food that we've been buying food. We've been trying to shop as locally as possible. Even when we go into a grocery store, we buy local food. So right now, do I want to do like totals and tallies?
No, I would just say like, so we already at the end of every month like calculate and write down all of our spending, and then when we do trips, we normally write, gas cost of this much.
Everything that we purchase, everything that we buy, no matter how small the purchase, we write it down. Which today we bought a 49-cent squash from the Amish store, and I'll write that down.
From the Amish.
Yeah, and
or they were Mennonite. We have no idea the difference or anything about them really. So.
We're Presbyterian because that's the church that we passed. Who knows? So even though we don't have a set budget of we only want to spend this much money, we know we're not going to spend a lot of money because we never do. Especially right now. Again, the only things we're spending money on are gas and food. Right? We haven't even had to pay entrance.
We also never really go back and look at like, last month's finances were this or that.
I go back and look because I always owe you money.
Okay.
I feel like I always owe you money. I get nervous about it. Yeah, I look and make sure that we're doing better every month. But just the practice of writing it down makes a big difference.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
it's just like being aware of where your money's going.
So we write how much we spent and what we spent it on. And like when we were living in Mexico, all of our money was being spent on eating out. We went out to restaurants all the time because it was cheap. But when you do it really often, it becomes not so cheap.
Not cheap, but affordable and relative.
Yes, relative for sure.
Not cheap.
So this trip is going to be an inexpensive trip because we are not paying for accommodations anywhere. I mean, besides the car payments, just because it's still under
financing.
It's still on financing.
And insurance.
And insurance. And we will kind of factor those things in. So a lot of people, they think their days are inexpensive because they only spent $40 on groceries this week. But it's like, did you factor in the cost of your rent for that day, which is things that we did in Mexico? When we factored in our spending for the day, we factored in the cost of rent in our apartment, the cost of electricity in our apartment, cost of internet, like all of that goes into our daily budget. So for this, really, it's car payment, car insurance.
Yeah, and I used to think about that all the time when I was paying rent back in Miami, and like it was crazy.
Yeah,
I was
like what does your day really cost
this
you?
Much. Rent for today was like $30. Like, geez, I didn't make $30. I didn't make $30 today. I'm a student.
Yeah. So we take into consideration all of those things, and we're kind of always making sure that we're spending things equally. Yeah, money on the road. But so far, I mean, I would say it's definitely less expensive because we're not paying rent. So even while the car payment is kind of expensive, it's just affordable. There's so many ways to do it affordably. We had someone else in our campground today who had a big rental van with like, it was designed with like climbers on it and stuff. And I can't even imagine how much they were paying for that. But it's got to be almost the cost of a hotel, if not more, because car rentals are expensive. So, if you're prepared enough, or if you do the things that make sense for the way you live your life, the other things that you're doing, like...
Yeah, it depends on what you want to do. If you want to go, for, 3 days at Disney World and spend $300 for the parks alone,
Yeah.
Just knowing what you want to do and doing what you want to do. That's more power to you, I think.
Yeah.
As the consumer.
Yes, yeah. And
or
I
the
guess...
vacationer.
Yeah. It's just certain things kind of allow you to do it more often or for longer periods of time, which is kind of where we're at. Nice.